Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. With all the brouhaha over at Portman Road with Fabio Wardley coming from behind, to put it mildly, to knock out Justice Hooney with one punch, and he lost. I had him losing all but one of the rounds in that fight. That was so dramatic that you could have perhaps not even noticed that there was a Sky Sports card on over in Barnsley, and headlining it was the vacant EBU super-middleweight title fight between Callum Simpson, undefeated in 17 fights coming in with 12 KOs, and Ivan Zucco, who was undefeated in 21 with 18 KOs. Zucco from Italy. Now, this turned out to be an absolute barn burner of a fight, which a lot of people, like I say, will have overlooked. I strongly urge you to go and watch this fight, all right, because it is an absolute war between two undefeated fighters. It was won by Callum Simpson in the 10th round. He'd floored Zucco 3 times, actually with the same punch, which was the uppercut. But that doesn't really tell the whole story. Zucco went down through, like I say, 3 times in the same corner, weirdly enough. And eventually, even though he was on his way up again, Zucco had big balls, he was on his way up again, stood up, and his trainer stood on the ring apron and put the towel in, and the referee stopped it. But where do we begin with this one? Right, okay, so in the first round, Callum Simpson, the orthodox Simpson facing the southpaw Zucco, he came out, and within the first 10 seconds, inside the first 10 seconds, he was on the floor because Zucco landed a backhand left. Simpson's on the floor. He gets up, a bit embarrassed, all right, flash knockdown, no big deal. Carries on. Probably would have won the round had he not been floored, but it was instantly, high octane stuff. Both fighters throwing a lot of punches. Simpson going forward. Zucco at times was kind of boxing on the back foot, but he wasn't retreating much. Simpson looked like the bigger man, physically stronger. He is a big super middle, Callum Simpson. Zucco looked, half a weight division smaller. Didn't look as physically imposing, but he was choosing his punches well and hitting hard. Second round, again, a lot of toing and froing. Sometimes the southpaw stance, which in this case was Zucco, and the orthodox stance, which would have been Simpson, they sort of don't blend that well. But in this fight, it was phone booth warfare, so it didn't seem to really matter that much. But in the third round, with Simpson still rampaging forward and Zucco threading his punches through, and lots of there's check hooks going in there, and it was just a war. And sure enough, another backhand in the third round from Zucco. Down goes Simpson again. Again, he's not that badly hurt. He gets up, shakes his head, as if to say, "Oh, got caught." But Zucco, when he let his hands go, it's a weird type of power he's got, because I've seen no evidence that Simpson's got a bad chin in the past. But when he was landing, he was really bothering Simpson, and I don't know if it's high twitch fibers of the muscles or whatever you call it, but he just had a habit of landing cleanly on Simpson and perturbing him, making him, think about what was coming for him. Simpson was fighting such a cavalier fight that I suppose you could say he was leaving himself open, which he was. But Zucco wasn't really difficult to find either. Yes, he was backing off a little bit more and perhaps trying to create a bit of space, but so much of this fight was up close and personal. Some of it was Zucco on the ropes or in the corner, didn't seem to bother him that much. Simpson, though, I got the feeling, had the air of someone who kind of would not be denied. He is from Barnsley, and this fight was at the Oakwell football ground, So this was his turf. And I got the feeling that, they talk about, the crowd being the 12th man in football. they might have been the equivalent of, in boxing terms, whatever that may be, for Callum Simpson, because the atmosphere was fantastic. This was Simpson's hometown. He wasn't going to be denied. He had that air about him. You know, I'm just going to walk through walls. I'll walk through fire. I'll walk over broken glass to do you. And he would not leave Zucco alone. And by the fifth round, maybe, it did. There was that, you know, grinding, erosion, sort of consistent, persistent manner that Simpson had, which suggested he was eventually going to stop Zucco. And Zucco, he didn't do anything wrong, you know. He was landed enough punches to make rounds competitive. God only knows what the scorecards said at the end of the fight. I mean, it was stopped in 10. This was a 12-round fight, obviously, because it was an EBU title. But I think, you know, you can certainly give Zucco some of the rounds. Well, obviously, he won 2 of the rounds because he probably by 10-8 because he scored 2 knockdowns, even though they were just kind of flash knockdowns. But I've got to be honest here. I mean, this was a fireball of a fight. And it was the type of fight where I kind of began scoring it, and then I just lost interest with scoring it because I was so absorbed with watching it. Go and see it. I mean, it's a terrific fight. And then I suppose it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Zucco in the 10th was trapped in the corner. Not an unfamiliar place for him, but Simpson seemed to find the key to the door because suddenly the uppercuts went in. I mean, there might have been 2 or 3 uppercuts went in, and Zucco sort of sat down, got up, knew where he was fine, you know. Referee counted him, okay, off you go. He suddenly got shoved back into the corner. And again, it was the uppercuts. He sat down again. He was knocked down again. Got up a second time. I think he managed to make his way out of the corner, but then suddenly he found himself shoved back into it. I mean, Simpson would not be denied. There was a real, almost like he was possessed, Simpson, in this fight. And again, the uppercuts. He was so obviously looking for double and triple uppercuts. Landed again. Zucco just said, he just couldn't get out of the way of this barrage, this avalanche of punches. It was like he was trying to, you know, push a huge boulder up the hill or swim against a tidal wave. It wasn't happening. He went down again, 3rd time. He got up, and like I say, his trainer got up into the ring apron right by the side of him and put the towel in. The ref waved it off. So Callum Simpson is the EBU super middleweight champion, and what a way to win it. I mean, this guy's going to sell some tickets. What an exciting fight it was, you know. And Simpson has shown, you know, some good form previously. He's been British, he's been Commonwealth champ, and now he's EBU champ. He's done things the old-fashioned way and the right way. And it's not over yet for him. He's 28, so he's probably in his prime. He's got a few years left, certainly a few years left, to go for world honours. The two knockdowns were flash knockdowns, but you've got to bear in mind, Ivan Zucco came in with 21 wins, undefeated, and 18 KOs. So maybe Simpson took his power a little bit lightly. I don't know. But, you know, Simpson, I mean, he's got wins over Zach Chelly. That was a unanimous decision over 12. He stopped Steve Woodall in 2, didn't he? After Woodall came back. Woodall was coming back off a very good win over Lerone Richards. He knocked Lerone Richards out, didn't he? When Richards was undefeated. So he's got some ability, Callum Simpson. I like him a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing just how far he can go. And I think if he's matched right, super middleweight division, obviously Canelo's tied up all the belts. It's a pretty good division. I don't know whether he's ready for the top 5 yet, but give him the lower reaches of the top 10 or 12, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see how far he can go. For Ivan Zucco, he can come back. I mean, this was such a war. He's 29, you know, he just got ground down. He just got done. He just got, you know, it was water on rock, erosion. He was eroded. But he's still got a big punch. It's his first defeat away from home, EBU title fight. He can go back and maybe regroup and come again. But I will repeat myself yet again. If you have not seen this fight, do go and see it and let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. And thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, if you could hit the like button, that'd be a good, that'd be a nice gesture. And if you could subscribe to the channel if you're new, takes a second, cost you nothing. Much appreciated. I always appreciate your support. I'm looking forward to reading what you got to say. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and bye for now.